This
What
conference will now be recorded.
I want to show two subcategories which has the least sales in the business, whose sales must be more than 2 lakhs. Correct? Yes or no? I want to show bottom subcategories who are having the sales more than 2 lakhs. So, for example, when I extract two subcategories which has sales least two subcategory sales with whose sales more than 2 lakhs. So obviously, who are those more than 2 lakhs list from that? So how many? Two subcategories, least subcategories, tables and binders. If I take three bottom, storage. Correct. So by default, if I extract two subcategories which has least sales, what it returns? Fasteners is the first one. Next, labels. Correct. These two are the least two subcategories. So how to achieve that? Tell me the approach. How to extract least two subcategories which has sales more than 2 lakhs. Any idea or not? Mohan, Sridhar, Krishna Prasanna.
No, no problem.
So I am asking at a subcategory level. Let's drag subcategory into the filter section. Okay. So we know the selection. So you can go with the all use all option selection. So we know the difference, right? What is use all and what is all option? What is this use all option? Use all option always filters all the values available in the selective column. So when you are going with the all option, it is just a single click to select all current values. So if any values which modified or which any values which introduced newly into the column can directly selected when you are going with the use all option. Okay. So here by field, so what I am saying, I want to get two subcategories which has least sales. Yes, I'm able to get two subcategories which has least sales. But what I'm saying, I said one condition. So whose sales must be greater than 2 lakhs. So let's load the data so that you will get what is the minimum sale amount of the subcategory and maximum sale amount of the subcategory. So here I'm giving the condition greater than 2 lakhs, 2022 lakhs. If you look at the tables and binders, are the least two subcategories which has sales more than 2 lakhs. If you pass 3, storage will also come into that. Correct. So here when you are applying this, what is happening? It is applying AND operator between these two. So sum of sales condition must be greater than 2 lakhs, and also you are extracting least three subcategories. So both the conditions must be satisfied. The satisfied conditional results will be shown in the report. Got it? So like the way you can utilize a condition section in the filters. Okay. So let me create a few more reports. I'm placing sales into the columns, profit into the rows. correct? Sales into the columns, profit into the rows. Just give me a second. Okay. For example, when you are placing two measures, okay. So when I'm placing two measures into rows and columns, so what is happening? It is creating two axes. Got it? So when it has two axes, there will be only one mark will represent two axis information, because one axis taken as a x axis, another is taken as a y axis. So whatever you place, that mark has to show two values information. That mark has to represent two value information. Now this is became a graph, x and y axis graph. Got it? So if you want to point anything, that has to represent two values. It's not possible to point any mark that to show only one point. I mean that to show only one measure performance. So each mark has to display two measure performances with a single point, single mark. It's possible when you are using a scatter plot. This is the scatter plot. How I am saying this as a scatter plot? Let's do one thing. So now I want to see sales and profit performance of the category. Okay. Now I am dragging category into the details section. When I am dragging category into the details, okay, by default the mark type it has taken as a circles. So it is not impacting to the shapes. Okay. So earlier, uh, uh, remember this. Earlier we don't have shapes option here. If you go back to sheet 1, there is no shapes option here. Follow my cursor. Now in the sheet 2, now I have the shape option. Shape option means what? You can assign a shape to your value. So I'm not assigning shape to my value. Now I'm dragging just a category to the details section, so that I am want to visualize my content at detail category level. Obviously, when you are placing into the details, there will be three marks will be shown because I have three categories. Got it? So if you look at, it is bit easy to understand how a category performing with the sales against with the profit. Got it? So this is a subcategory having highest or least, highest sales, but the profit is very less, because so you can compare this against with the sales. When you are looking at a sales level, it is more than 7 lakhs, but the profit is not more than 20k. But whereas to this is a sale amount of other category, this is having also similarly more than 7 lakhs of sales, more than 120k of profit. This is more than 140k of profit, and also it has highest sales because it's having more than 800k of sales. Got it? So like the way you can able to represent each mark against with the two axis points. So each mark's responsibility is to show two measure performances in a single sheet. Got it? Now let me place category into the shapes. So that what happens? The category size, the category size, sorry, the categories are shaped with different shapes. So one category is shown with a circle, one category is shown with a square, one is a star label. So how do you want to display, for example, edit shapes? Okay. So let's select the drop down. There are multiple drop downs we have. You can choose any of the drop down. You can allocate your required shape to your category. Got it? For example, shapes are fine with the same, with the different shapes. I want to allocate colors as well, different colors for three categories. What I have to do, I have to place category into the colors. So obviously three categories will displayed with three different colors, along with represented with three different shapes. If you look at this is the shape. Let me duplicate this sheet. Okay. So now I want to edit the colors. Let's edit the shape. So I'm changing the shape type to filled, so that I am allocating circle, but this is a filled shapes. So when you are placing the category into the colors, what happens? The shape will be filled with the color. That's a difference between a normal shape and a filled shape. So if normal shape you are using, then what happens? Only the borders of the shape will be displayed with the colors. When you are going with the filled shape, the color will be filled in the inside the shape. Got it? So like the way you can able to change your shape allocation to the each value of your category. You can change colors the, you can assign colors to the categories. And also let me drag subcategory into report. What happens now if I drag subcategory into the details? What it shows? Tell me. What it has to show? If I drag subcategory into the detail, I have 17 subcategories, but my understanding, I have 17 subcategories. If I use subcategory column into the details, my report has to split with 17 marks, correct? And also I have already allocated a category wise shape. So how many subcategories belongs to a category should show with the category level shape with the same colors of the category. Got it? How many circles we have? One, two, three, four. Four circles means these four circles belongs to the one category, because these all the marks categorized using the various shapes at category level. Got it? So how many place labels are there? One, two, three, four. Four place labels. So there are four subcategories part of a similar category. There are four subcategories belongs to the same category. What is that category for place? Technology. Under the technology, we have only four subcategories. Let's highlight the technology. This is four. This is for office supplies. How many? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Nine subcategories are part of office supplies. four categories part of a technology category. Now if you look at so this is the way you can able to plot scatter plot, and this is the way to identify each mark with respect to the two measure performances. So the responsibility of each mark is to present two metric information against with the two axis, against with the sales, against with the profit as well. So to create this scatter plot, this type of visualization is called as a scatter plot. So such visualizations used to be created when you are having two measures in the report. One measure has to be placed in the columns and another measure has to be placed in the profit. Got it? Okay. So accordingly, how do you want to display your data? If you're drilling down your data into next granular information, yes, it's possible. You can place your required data into the detail section accordingly to split up your data. Got it? So scatter plot is very useful when you have limited information to be present in the visualization, because when you are placing lower granular dimensions into the report, obviously it will have n number of values. So when it has n number of values, what happens? The visualization become clumsy because everything has to be present in the report and everything. So in the single visualization, everything become clumsy. So it will be one on one. Got it? But you can able to performance. So the binding information of the marks, how it performed in the business. If you look at when you are performing, when you are analyzing at a product level, so it is representing very clearly. So most of the marks are having sales less than 10K and profit less than 5K. Sales less than 10K, profit less than 5K. Got it? So there are limited marks which are having high performances with respect to sales and profit are very limited. Got it? There is one mark which is Canon image advanced copier. This is having the highest sales and the highest profits in the information. Actually, this visualizations very useful to understand. So very highest and very lowest performances. Okay, so the density can be identified using this visualization. The density of number of marks performances can be analyzed using this visualization. Here the density is very high, so you can understand the range of number of marks part of in which ranges sales less than 10K, profit less than 5K. Got it? So this is at a product level information. When you drill up to the subcategory level, what happens? The number of marks got reduced. Now it will be very easy how everything is working. Okay, so using the size, you can increase size of the visualization, size of the mark. So when you have the limited number of marks, you can create such a type of increasing the size to show bigger shapes in the visualization. Got it? So like the way you can able to create a visualization using scatter plot. Let me create a scatter plot by placing category, subcategory, sales, profit. Under the show me, select an option scatter plot. So to create this visualization, it supports at least for two measures, and the maximum it supports for four measures. Let me place four measures into the report. First, let me create with the two measures. This is, if you look at category placed into the shapes, subcategory placed into the colors. Got it? So each subcategory will represent with one individual color, but which belongs to the shapes allocated for the category. Let me create a category, subcategory, sales, profit, quantity, discount. Now I'm trying to create a scatter plot for this. So it can be used for four measures, right? Yes, you can select four measures. So when you are placing for four measures, what is happening? So in the report, it is displaying only two measures. In the report, it is displaying two measures, but other two measures placed into the marks card. One measure into the colors, one measure into the size. One measure into the colors, one measure into the size. Based on the color hue, like thin color to thick color, which represents the respective measure performance. Here, the sales using the blue color. So very thin blue, whatever the mark having very thin blue, which represents it has a very less sale amount. Very thick blue, which has highest sales. So as I said, you can step up this. So how edit colors? You can step up colors for three levels. You can step it up for three colors. So it will be easy. So in which range it is plotted. So these all are the least sales. These all are the highest sales. These all are the medium sales. Got it. You can set up step up to two levels as well. Got it. So obviously 8,532 to 3,35,768. What is the median value? That value will be the step up for these two. Classify these two. Got it. Like the way we can able to create a scatter plot. So here one more is a quantity into the sizes. So you can see here the size. So mark size you can increase. Mark size you can increase, but that has to be fit into the visualization. You can manually edit the size using this mark size range. So you can give by range as well. So this is using by range. This is from 0. So the size will be starts from 0 to the max value. So the range, how do you want to give? Accordingly you can set up the ranges. Okay, so okay, so here you can see start value and the stop value. I mean start value and end value. So start value is the minimum value of the aggregated measure in the report. End value is the maximum measure aggregation in the report. So now we have the value. What was the value column placed into the size as a quantity? For a quantity, what is the min value? 242. What is the max? 6071. So between these two ranges, you can able to plot this visualization using sizes. You can customize this as well. So how do you want to start your value size? Let's give 3000. Let's check how it works. Mm. So it start giving 3000 to 6000 sizes. So the range allocated 3000 to 6000. Accordingly, it has split it up into four levels: 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. If you look at the sizes, so whatever part of a very small, medium, under the medium there are two. One is large. Accordingly, you can set up. You can reset. This is a default one. Okay, minimum to maximum value being shown here. Got it? So like the way you can able to assign the sizes when you are using four measures in the report. Got it? So like the way we can create scatter plots when you are creating a two measures. It's very clear, right? So when you are placing a measure into the report, it has to create one axis. So it is creating a independent axis for the measure when you are placing a measure side by side into the columns or rows. This is a sales marks cut, this is profit marks cut. Similarly, I am dragging sales into the rows, profit into the rows. Now also I have two measure marks cards. Similarly, like sheet 6. But when I am placing two measures into two sections, rows and columns, it is still having only one marker card. It is not having individual marks card for measures. Am I correct? So like the way you can able to understand what is happening when you are dragging a measure into the report. Not only this, when you are doing practice, so you should observe very clearly what is happening in the report. Got it? So like the way we have to create a visualizations. Got it? So one more thing, this is the shapes. So where this shapes section exists, how this is pulled into your report. So under the documents, there is a folder My Tableau repository. This is created when you install Tableau desktop in your machine, under which we have a folder shapes. If you open the shapes, so there are multiple folders. These folders names being shown as various shape types. So if you take arrows, these are all the arrows. So whatever we have here, everything pulled into your report. Got it? Correct. So like the way you can able to pull your shapes into the report. So the folders, so whatever available, that will be come into the report. Bug track, keep it. Let me edit this. Arrows, parts, bug tracking, gender, KPI, proportion, rating, thin arrows, and weather filled. So these two are the default ones. This is not coming from anywhere. So let me go back and check. So filled ones and the normal ones are the default ones, which is existed in the report itself. If you want any other thing, that must be presented here. ratings, thin arrows, weather. Okay. Okay. So under the shapes, what are the default ones? So filled shapes under default. Whatever we have, these two are the similar shapes. Just one is filled with the colors, one is empty with the colors. These two are the default ones. Okay. But remaining all are pulling from shapes folder. Arrows, bars, bug tracking, gender, KPI, proportions, ratings, thin arrows and widths. 3 plus 3. Okay. So like the way you can able to create a scatter plot, you can assign a shape to the value of your dimension, you can assign colors to the your values. It is for a few, you can use four measures up to four measures in for the scatter plot. Got it? So this is regarding the last requirement. So what all are the requirements are pending now?